What's up, YouTube? I am going to talk about today's New York session a little bit, but I am more so really here to provide another update on the LUCID Black accounts. So I was able to take one trade over yesterday's Globex, which I know I'm a little late to update. I usually post it pretty much right after the New York session, but it's been a really busy day with business and clients today, so just haven't had a chance to get to it. But I'm going to talk about the first trade I took, which I got my day one in, and then also today during the current Globex session, I caught another trade. So that's two trades locked in, one more trade to go. Again, I think I should be able to do it for the next day and get what I need, but I'm not going to put a lot of pressure into it because, again, there is a 40% consistency rule. So I'm not just going to try to shoot for some arbitrary number. We'll see where that goes. But with that, if this is your first time following, please drop a like and subscribe. It helps me a lot. So I'll just leave with that. So the first trade for the account was yesterday. I was looking for longs, and the first long that I took actually was a losing trade here. I got stopped out on it. But then the second trade I took, I managed to get the hit, and actually I went to bed already at this point because I just left my stop loss and target as is, and luckily we were able to stay in it. So the first trade that I took, we were looking like we were trying to continue higher on the NQ here, and we were holding the 200 EMA. As you guys know, I liked it a lot already as of recent, right? But this wick down essentially stopped me out initially. I was thinking to myself I should keep my stop loss below the VWAP, but I didn't, and I paid the price for that one, unfortunately. But it is what it is, right? Game of probability. But then the next time I hopped in, I was able to protect myself because I did this time use the prior low wick as my stop loss, so I kind of went beneath the VWAP. And so when this wicked again, I did not get stopped out this time, and I was able to ride through this wave over the course of the Asia session, and I got my target hit here. In the Discord, I had made the comment already that although things were looking, short like, especially coming after a really big melt off day as the prior day session, I wanted to really tag this upper area before we went to short. That's the reason why I went longs and I did not go short, at least not yet. I did also mention that I think that over the London session, there was going to be an opportunity to take shorts, and there was exactly that. So whether you caught the reject right before the London Open, about half an hour beforehand, or you caught it during the London session itself, I found that this was probably the cleanest setup if had you missed the top or the lower high here. Was I really liked the fact that we broke below VWAP and we used this as a support flip resistance short to the downside. I didn't take this. I was already in bed because for me, this is like, what time is this? 1:30 in the morning, so I was definitely in bed already. But this would have been a really nice trade down towards either the Globex or the level or channel that I had drawn below. So there's that. That was trade number one. And then I'm going to jump straight to trade number two, and then I'll come back to the New York session. Trade number two was actually a gold trade that I took earlier just now. And so that trade was over here. Initially, when I signaled in the Discord, I was thinking about taking it over here, but we just didn't really get the follow through that we were looking for. And so I held off and I stepped away for a bit. And when I say step away, I'm working at my desk. I have a lot of screens here. Actually, you probably don't really notice it, but if you've seen my setup on Instagram, you know what I'm talking about. But I had a thesis and I said it didn't work out, so it's all good. I just continued kind of going about my work. And then I saw that we were shaping up again, and I was looking at the 2-minute, 5-minute, and the 15-minute time frame, and we had a nice setup building here. And so the moment we kind of reclaimed above the 200 EMA here, with obviously many other factors as well, I took an entry, and man, was that the quickest target hit ever. I didn't even have a chance to signal this entry. Like, it was like I entered it, and within the minute, this candle just bolted up, and I got my 6 points that I wanted, and I called it, right? I wasn't looking for a great deal of amount. It's the Asia session, and to be perfectly honest, with consistency rules on these Lucid accounts, I can't hit too high of profit anyways. So I was happy with it, but man, did this run, right? Like this made it up to this point. This was like a 19-point move within like 20 minutes, which was insane. But all in all, really happy. I'm 2 for 2 on the Lucid Black account. One more to go, or maybe another day, we'll see. Now, going back to the New York session, because we had quite a move today, and I think it was quite tilt-inducing for many people. I think longs were really solid today. If anyone caught the long, I can imagine there's quite a few people that I know that probably caught this today. I did not. I think with the bias that I had on the day, I just didn't feel comfortable taking longs, even though there were valid setups along the way here, for you to take those longs, right? But instead, for me, I had my eye out on this. And the reason why I had my eye out on the 25,471, and I made this very apparent to the gang as well, was that I was looking for us to short on the day, which is the same reason why I didn't long. And this was an important spot for us because if you actually take a look at where we gapped down from on the NQ, it was this area. So kind of peeling all the way back, this is where we gapped down. And so when we came up to this area and we started forming candles the way that I like to have them form, and then we also had this kind of break of structure, which I drew this little blue channel here just to kind of visually show it. I took my entry for shorts, and now I didn't short with futures on this trade actually. If you follow me on Instagram, you already know this. I didn't, more so because, again, juggling options and futures at the same time can be very difficult. Um, and based on what I had going on, I just knew I wouldn't be able to multitask both. I know some of the students in the group, which I'm very proud and happy to see that they caught it as well. Some of my students were able to catch the entry up here. Some of them caught it a little bit later on down here. Either way, though, the group made bank today, which is really great to see, and I love it, especially because, like, again, in a lot of cases, I try my best not to signal too much because I personally don't believe, like, I think if it's the full community Discord, sure, signal's fine, but for students, it's really about wanting them to make sure that they understand how to trade based on the things that I show and teach them. Anyways, with that, like, after we broke this 2 minute structure, I took a 614 put. I posted this on Instagram already, and it was probably one of the quickest large trades I've done in a very long time. I trimmed for about 100, I trimmed for 200% somewhere in here. And then I closed off for 270% on my options contract down here. And so this was about like 16, 18 minutes. And based on after trimming and all that, that was basically a $5,000 trade on options, right? So honestly, overall, pretty banging. And that wasn't with a lot of size either, right? Like I had 30 contracts filled at 79 cents each. And yeah, I just kind of trimmed for 200%, 270%. Like obviously, because it was such a large compounding growth, it equated to a lot. So, anyways, I think that's the thing about options, right? Like it's super high risk. You can obviously lose a lot when you trade options, and I can tell you that from experience because your run on options was honestly traumatic to say the least. Which is why I don't recommend options for new traders. I think futures is a great way to get started trading, especially with prop firms because they're so much cheaper. I think it's crazy, right? Like I've been saying this a lot lately, and for those who like have watched Dragon Ball Z before in their life, I refer to prop firm trading like the hyperbolic time chamber, right? Because like you get a lot of opportunity to put reps in the market without having to risk your own real capital, which is huge, right? So, anyways, I can continue on and ramble about why prop firms make a lot of sense for you to practice and put the reps in, but I'll leave it at that. But yeah, overall, a very solid day to the downside. I didn't catch the full move, but I caught enough for me to be happy because I was bringing my kid to school at this point, right? So I wasn't looking to manage the trade. In the same regard, where we had the opportunity to hold this channel in the same area that we kind of essentially bounced off the opening, we double bottomed here, and then from there on out we set higher lows. And I wasn't here at the desk, but obviously there must have been some sort of news that came out, and it just rocketed all the way to the top. And again, this is one of those things where, again, what I mentioned to the students, I said, look, this is going to be a key area to watch if we make our way up here. And so we did. And I know a couple of students already was able to bank on the shorts here and caught the move down from up here to down here. So again, this is the one of those days where you look at it and you're like, man, this is kind of like tilt inducing. This is really rough to trade. It's hard. Like, how do you cash these moves? They're so fast. And the reality is that not every day is going to be the same. Some days you just don't. Some days you just have, you're on the other side of that probability, and some days you manage to catch it. And I think today was one of those days where I would say that based on the reference points that I had, like my gap down spot, my channels above, areas of interest, they all played out very well. Like these were all lines, these are all marker points that have been marked on the chart for a while now, right? And so the way that we rejected the gap down, the way that we respected the channel up down here and up there, right? Like honestly, huge opportunity today. I'm sure there's, in the same way that there were traders that probably struggled, there were probably traders today that absolutely banked today, right? So anyways, all things considered, that's kind of my quick overview. I will provide an update tomorrow or the day after if I manage to get another trade in on my Lucid Black account. But yeah, with that, again, if you have any questions, drop a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer the questions as I usually will try to do for you guys. But anyways, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Catch you guys next time.